Down to the longest minute.
Yes, sir.
I'll bring the Parks and Recreation Committee to order and turn it over to Amy.
Good evening. Thank you all. Just a couple quick things, a couple projects that we've been working on. I was going to give you quick updates. If you guys have any questions, please just let me know. The first is the Jessen Boat Landing. The restroom building has been ordered and scheduled to be delivered in December. The wetlands application has been submitted. We are meeting this Thursday to review staging options. To the construction should begin the next 3 to 4 weeks. Our goal is to keep the landing open for throughout most of the construction with reduced capacity and minimize the time it's shut down completely. But again, you guys should be seeing work starting in the next couple of weeks. The Saul Alexander Playground, the safety surfacing is scheduled to be installed starting this Wednesday, October 13th. And then we will be coming off that job temporarily to get the ice skating rink and Christmas displays up, and then we'll be going back to complete that project. The Wasmasaw Trails, the repaving project that was completed September 29th and 30th. The contractor did a great job on those trails. We were very pleased with the outcome on those. The Doty Park lighting, the bids came back higher than we expected for this project. Initially, we had hoped to be able to upgrade the walkway lights, the tennis lights, and add lighting to the pickleball courts. Unfortunately, we had to eliminate the pickleball lighting for now. The lights for the walkway and the courts have been ordered. We anticipate this project starting in the next 3 to 4 weeks as well, as long as the lights are delivered as expected. We also received a little over $6,000 in rebates from Dominion. Any questions on any of our projects?
Let me ask you one thing.
Yes, sir.
The Wassasaw Paved Trail. I was out there. I saw where you started. You're not going to pave that portion up there where the handicap parking is, and
No, sir.
okay, so you're just going to do the trail all the way around.
Yes, sir. We went out there and identified it was really where there was a lot of roots that had broken up the trail, the section that needed to be redone, and that's the section that we did in this phase.
All right, thank you.
Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Mr. Jackson, I've got one more thing.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Oh, no problem.
Oh, yeah.
In May 2021, council had authorized staff to approve a license agreement with the Office of the Adjunct General for the use of the property adjacent to the Jerry Blackwell Sports Complex. The motion carried unanimously. However, they have since requested that the agreement be changed from a license to a lease. No other details in the lease or the agreement were changed, but I believe council needs to approve that change for us to sign that.
You want to make a motion? Aaron? You want to make a motion to approve that?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
All that I have.
Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Carries. Okay, I bring to order the Planning and Development Committee, and I turn that over to Jesse.
Quick question, GW. We don't have a quorum of that committee. We just
Oh.
have Bob.
I'll vote twice.
Okay, that's a statement, but I assume it can, okay. And I guess we don't have this meeting.
Okay. Well, we don't have a meeting. I don't have to adjourn. Thank you, Jesse.
Thank you, Jesse. Next, we have the public safety.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman and members of council. Chairman Brown asked me to give you guys a quick update on some projects we got going on in the fire department. First one I'll bring to attention is Station 6, the project we're doing on Miles Jamison Road. All right. So I wanted to just share with you where we are right now. This is the plat where we're going to build the station. This is Miles Jamison Road right out front. If you look to the left of the parcel, just on the other side of the flood zone, that's Cyrus Elementary. That's the road leads back to Cyrus Elementary where the traffic circle is. So and to the right of the new parcel is the coastal center, of course. So that's the location of the new facility. Go to the second slide. This is the proposed conceptual site plan that we have that we come out with. Our surveyors have just started to take off to do the survey to plot this out on the land. So plot the station out as they're working through the design phase of the project. Next slide. And this is the layout of the floor plan. You see 2.5 bays. We're going to have a medic unit running out of this from the county because we did the station in a joint venture with them to and wanted to provide space for the medic to run out of there as well to serve that area of town.
Can you go back and help us a little bit if you tell us what the colored sections are?
All right, so the colored areas are the common areas. To the very top of the slide of the station is where the day room and kitchen is. Just to the right of that is a fitness room that comes off of the apparatus bay. The gray area to the right side of the plan is the 2.5 truck bays that we have. Coming back to the orange, that's a storage and decon room. So this station, we brought in some of the decon and cancer prevention things that are going on in the fire service now. So our people will actually go through a little decon corridor to watch them clean up a little bit before they go into the building. Just helps keep the station clean and free of any of the carcinogens that we pick up when we're out on the calls. The checkered area is just your common area, your corridors, your hallways, foyer, entry area. Same with the yellow, the front office. You have the station office. To the left of that is a EMS office, the medic office. Keep continuing to move to the left. We have a future area for a battalion chief. So as the department continues to grow, we'll be wanting to add a second battalion chief onto each shift. Basically splitting the shift into 2 battalions. And this station is a great location to have that second battalion. So we went in and planned for that into the future. Just behind that is the officers' bunk room and office area. So to the left of that, of course, they're adjoining with a bathroom and a bunk room. And then moving up above those is the rest of the personnel's bunker area and locker room and showers. Any questions on the floor layout? Okay. This is a conceptual, just the elevations of the building, the way it look on from the street view. Of course, the apparatus bay is over to the right with the living area to the left. And then the back area shows the 2 bays because the third bay is not all the way through. That doesn't go all the way through. So where we are right now in the process of the building, they're working through the planning phase to develop construction documents that will build the station off of. So that's where design build is. We had a kickoff meeting about 2 weeks ago to go through all with the architects and the design builder. So it will should finish this phase up around December and have a job ready to be permitted to begin construction. Any questions on Station 6? Right. Just some other updates, things going on in the department. Under our apparatus, we are going to take delivery of a new ladder truck later this month, at the end of this month, first part of November. This is a truck we actually ordered back in the first quarter of 2020, but as you can imagine, COVID's impacted the fire service manufacturing as well. So we have been delayed on getting this truck in. So we'll be glad to get this one in and on the road. We'll have about a month of training time with it and equipment mounting and whatnot. It'll actually go to Sumter. That's where the equipment and whatnot will be mounted to it. So engine delivery. This is an engine that we purchased last summer. That'll take place in November as well. So that engine is going to go in Oak Brook and replace the engine that's there currently. And that engine will move into the reserve fleet. So we'll actually bring the new engine, the engine from Oak Brook, we'll bring it out of the reserve fleet when we open Station 6, because the engine that we're ordering for Station 6, the timing will be off. The station will actually be done a little bit before the truck comes in. So that truck for Station 6 is actually on the agenda tonight for the Finance Committee. So that's the one y'all are looking at tonight. Outside of those engines, we have a utility vehicle on the Finance Committee tonight that we'll be asking for approval to purchase. The utility vehicle is basically a side-by-side vehicle that we'll use around town for the festivals. It's Polaris. I don't know if y'all are familiar with those vehicles, but it's just a UTV is what they're referred to as. It's a four-seater unit that we can put a backboard on the back of, so we can also even use it to respond out to if we had an injury on the trail, sawmill trail or something, we can run out there and pick somebody up and give them back to the road to where they can be loaded into EMS. Under personnel, we're just wrapping up a fast track hiring process. We've got 4 personnel that'll graduate from that at the end of this month and be on the floor, be ready to go. And we're also accepting applications right now for non-certified firefighters to start in January next year, to get us back full again, hopefully. So right now we have about 30 applicants for the 11 openings that we have in the department. Next slide. All right, it's Fire Prevention Month. October, of course, is always that time of year. This year, the national theme is Learn the Sounds of Fire Safety. So they're talking about the smoke alarms and carbon monoxide alarms to make sure everybody's aware of what they sound like when they go off and the different sounds they make. That's kind of the lesson this year that the National Fire Service is pushing out. We did hold our annual parade last week. We did some advertising on it. Unfortunately, the parade started, it was the same day that social media crashed. So it didn't get pushed out as much as we would like to have seen it, but we didn't do the display this year that we've normally done at Lowe's just because of the pandemic. So we didn't want to draw a big crowd out there for that. And outside of that, tonight, Station 1 renovations, we are looking just to spruce up Station 1 a little bit. Right now we're developing some plans that we can get out for bid to do some work at Station 1 just to clean it up some. Just needs a little TLC. The building's getting old. We've actually just had to replace the stove that's been in that station. Mary, you probably could tell the exact date of when that stove was put into the station, but I think it actually came off of Luke Street and go over there. So it's about 50 years old and it's finally ready to retire. So anyway, we replaced the stove over there coming up soon. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So it's got some years on it. Outside of that, did just find out last week some bad news for us. We were actually denied on 2 federal grants. So we had put in for funds to replace some portable radios and hire some people, but unfortunately we were turned down on both of those. So we just received that notice last week. So we'll try again next year. Other than that, that's about the wrap up for now.
Any questions? Thank you, Chief.
Thank you, Chairman. Appreciate it.
Now we have the police department.
So your copies are going to be darker, but I just asked you, it's more for you to have after you leave. But if you'd refer to your screen and the color, it'd probably be more helpful. I apologize for that. So January through October 5th, 2021, our call types were up or down 5% in our call volume. And this time as we were last year, we're down 40% in homicides with 2 this time. Obviously, that's a good thing. Traffic offenses were up 50%, mostly because traffic's back on the roadway. People are moving, living their lives. Same thing with traffic collisions, up 13%. Our mental health calls have gone down 9%, which is good. I think our proactive measures, what we're taking are actually helping. But sadly, our overdose deaths are up 43%. We're at 70% or 70 already this year for overdoses. I think we're at 15 deaths. And those numbers are never good. We're for auto breaking and entry, we're down 12%, domestic violence down 8%, welfare checks 5% were up, property checks were down 39%, which is a good thing. I think where a lot of people were wanting their houses and their businesses watched while everything was shut down last year. Shoplifting down 0.6%. I don't know if that decimal is supposed to be there, but it is. And indecent exposure down 22%. It's also a good thing. So obviously the small writing, I'm not going to go through all the grants, but I will tell you we were awarded the firehouse safety grant. We were also notified the other day, we were awarded the domestic violence investigator renewal grant, as well as the body worn camera grant to provide us with new body worn camera memory for the storage. And also we have the vehicle networking systems. That's going to be what allows us to have high speed internet in the vehicles to push out information and geofencing and mapping. Highway safety grant, we were awarded our DUI officer for a renewal, as well as a traffic safety grant for 2 officers for traffic enforcement. That's good. Bad news today, we received, much like Chief Waring did,
Town of Somerville, SE.
that we did not get the Bowler Wrap grant.
Miles, turn right
And
onto
we
West
did
Richardson
not
Avenue.
get the, someone's obviously lost. But the body worn camera grant, we did, I'm sorry, as I was back to where I was just a minute ago. We also had a janitorial grant, if you see down third from the bottom, for supplies and equipment for cleaning our building to a tune of $25,000. We were denied that this year. Moving on to the next slide. I was asked by Councilman Brown to provide numbers for our officers as far as vaccinations and people who have contracted and overcome the COVID-19 virus. 150 or 164 personnel, it's roughly 91% are vaccinated. 14 of 164 sworn and civilian employees unvaccinated, that's 9%. 15 of 164 civilian employees have received the booster vaccine, and that's all been voluntary. And 7 of the 164 sworn and civilian employees have received and approved exemptions. That's 4%. 28 of our 164 officers have had the COVID-19 virus. That's roughly 17%. Next slide. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I think everybody can see there. We had some officers that were trained. Our entire department's been trained in using naloxone, which is used to counter the opioid use when somebody's in overdose, otherwise known as Narcan. Both ourselves and the fire department, EMS, have been trained in that. We all carry it on ourselves. And I think they're just now getting caught up from 2019. So we had challenge coins sent to the governor's office, and they asked us to present those coins to those officers, and we did that in a ceremony. I believe there was 24 officers who had saved lives of people in 2019. I could tell you the numbers are going to be higher than that in 2020 and 2021. Same as goes for the fire department and EMS. In other news, next slide. We're still full steam ahead with the Dignity Project, participation with that. We actually started being out at third Thursdays, helping people be aware of what we're doing and see if they want to get involved. The hospitality team, otherwise known as Team 6, is up and running. I'm getting a lot of great fanfare from the business owners, as well as the people that are walking around in town, seeing that the police presence stepped up with foot patrols. The IACP video profiling the police department with the town, obviously that's been sent out, it's been posted. Getting a lot of good fanfare with that as well for our agency and as well as the town of Somerville. We ordered surveillance cameras for downtown historic district, which obviously will be hopefully approved this evening. National Night Out, we participated in that, as well as the Real Men Wear Pink campaign for the American Cancer Society for breast cancer awareness. And I'm actually one of the ambassadors that was chosen to help facilitate that. So myself and Chief Reynolds in the city of Charleston, the police chief at Isle of Palms, as well as representative from North Charleston Police Department and several other agencies, as well as private practice attorneys, doctors and whatnot. We're all competing against one another, and I don't want to lose. So if anybody wants to go to Real Men Wear Pink, obviously check it out. That's why we're wearing pink badges and pink t-shirts under our uniforms this month. The Flower Town Festival, we just had a very successful event. I'd like to commend Amy Evans and Russ Cornett and everybody who was involved with that. Obviously Chief Waring for the work that they've done to help make that a safe event. And we, as far as I know, we didn't have anything serious that occurred. Cops on the Coop for Special Olympics, as well as working with mental health responses. We've been still doing that, doing a lot of that stuff. And we're troubleshooting the homeless population. Actually, myself was out at the Burger King on Bakersford Road last week, where we incarcerated a gentleman that we have given many, many chances to try to help he's not supposed to be on the property. So we're not about arresting people doing this, but it's coming down to some last resorts in some of these situations we're having to do that. So we did that. We're hoping to some of these other places we can help them get the help they need. So we're doing this, extending branches with Berkeley, Charleston, and Dorchester County Sheriff's offices, where we're actually helping them with homeless people who are in need, obviously providing them with clothes, food, vaccinations, dog food for their pets that you see them with. So there's other things we're doing to help proactively curb that problem. Also, they're trying to help them get jobs. Multiple PSAs or public service announcements on social media, traffic safety checkpoints with agency partners, physical fitness team activities, and obviously our ice cream truck is out and about. So are there any questions?
Let me say this to you. I'm running for re-election. We had a candidate forum. And one of the questions that came up a couple of times was, how do we feel about what the town is doing as far as homeless people?
Mhm.
So I was listening to your responses with a keen ear, because I think one of the ways that we can deal with this issue is, I think a lot of people have concerns about this. And I see PGJ sitting there. We probably want to focus on grants, some grants available, so that we've got a problem. And as it grows, we can find money from the state and federal government to give these people some hope and, give them a new lease on life. But I think as the town grows, this is continue to be a problem for us. And because a lot of the questions that we answered with all the organizations that wanted, like the chamber and all of that, they were asking about that. And so I think it's something, I'm glad to see you focusing on that.
Yes, sir. And I just wanted to be known, the homeless population, as a general rule, they're not trusting of law enforcement because they're afraid they're going to be arrested. Therefore, this is not just it is definitely not a police matter. This is a matter of the community coming together, your religious affiliations, along with any other type of groups that can come together and help. Anytime, in fact, when we have these extended branches campaigns, we're not even dressed in uniform because these people will not show up. So we're doing what we can. They're trying to get a census of the homeless population. I will tell you, in my 25 years of working here, it's the worst it's ever been. It is a problem, and we need to fix it, along with the community partners and stakeholders that are involved with that. But certainly, I take that under account in your advice.
Doug, just following up on that, is there any way to address the homeless people that are kind of camped out on public property? And I've got mine, Doty Park, the pavilion area.
Yes, sir.
Every time you go by there, the homeless people in there. And if they're not participating in an event as a spectator or a participant, and are just hanging out there, is there any way to get?
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Especially if there's signage, as you will know, we could definitely do that, and we do. A lot of them go over there. They hit internet. They can get electricity. They use our heads or the restrooms to bathe. It's pretty normal for public restrooms, as you would well know. But yes, sir. I mean, it's certainly. I think if people knew what were in the woods beyond their neighborhoods, they'd be shockingly surprised of the population.
Yeah, I know.
As well as in the open, like you're saying, Councilman.
But when they're in a place like that pavilion, it discourages anybody else from using it. And
We
it's
do, yes,
denying the tax-paying people the ability to enjoy the facility.
Sir, we try to run them off, but as soon as we leave, they're right back out there. Obviously, then they scurry when we come back. Certainly, we have, yes, sir, exerted effort to try to curb that.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I guess we need to adjourn.
I'll move, we adjourn.
Second. All in favor, raise your hand.
Okay, we'll begin the Public Works Committee.
Evening. A few items to go over. First item is the Waring Street drainage improvements. I think Mr. Brown requested this item be included on the agenda. As you know, the Stormwater Department did some improvements there last month, finished those last month. And as far as I know, they are helping the situation. I did explain before last month that this is a temporary solution to temporarily improve what's happening there until we do the permanent solutions, which are in the works now. Mr. Brown, do you want to add anything to that?
Well, we're making some progress slowly. I think one of the biggest things we accomplished was having the developer build that burn behind some of those houses that were flooding
That's
out.
been done.
That's been done. So, and I think the work that Ryan did is helping too. But it's, I think it's, once we get the whole thing done, probably take another 2 or 3 months. We tried to explain that. But, people want relief, and I understand it.
I will say, Mr. Brown, that the 2 houses that are experiencing flooding sit in a bowl. So they're going to continue to get water in their foundation because it's lower than the ground around them. There's not much the town can do about that. But we can upgrade the pipe system on the road and downstream to give them opportunity to get the water off the property.
As an engineer, do you think if in fact there was some grant money or something, that you could elevate those 2 houses up some?
I think elevating the houses would help
Not
their
that the
situation.
town would do it, but I'm just saying that they could get the money to do that.
I think elevating the houses would improve their situation. I don't know who would be responsible for paying for it, though. It's
Right.
not my decision.
Yeah, because I think they need some elevation to deal with all that flooding they've been having over the years.
Next item is North Main Street parking area. We looked at this last month. We went back and did some work on it, and what you see here is kind of what we've landed on. We tried to make this a two-way situation. Problem is, when we pulled the parking away from Main Street, it was overhanging Main Street, didn't leave us enough room to have a two-way aisle. So we decided just to pull it all, clean it up, and uniform the drive aisle as a standard 14 feet wide and a 45-degree parking. It gives us 19 spaces. The other problem here is the driveway off North Main Street. You see to the right, there's a bank drive-through that exits on the wrong side of the driveway. It's just how they come out. It's where it is. And the left side of the driveway is where people enter. So it's a backwards orientation for traffic direction. So we've shown putting it a median to help guide traffic in the appropriate direction. So there's no conflicts there. But I have Commissioner Robbins. He's been kind of spearheading this with us, and I think he's got overall support from the bank, the restaurant, and other offices there to support this plan. If I'm wrong, Mr. Robbins, let me know. Okay. So we'd like to pursue this plan. I've requested this. I'm going to request this under CTC funding to help them fund it because this is a state maintained in the state right away. Any questions? In the area that's left up by Main Street, that triangle area, we would open that up and be an opportunity for landscaping to be put there in the future. All right, no questions, moving on. Ms. Wallace asked us to put together some stop sign installation criteria. So I asked AJ to work on this for us. I'm gonna let him present stop sign installation criteria.
I'm not sure if you all have seen what all is being proposed.
Russ, one of the questions that we had during the candidates forum was, what were we doing about traffic? I told him we hired a traffic engineer.
So basically, this criteria, we have a traffic calming policy that encompasses speed bumps and other measures of traffic calming, but it doesn't have any criteria for stop signs to be used as a method of traffic calming. So the criteria outlined is basically what it really does is it gives a stop sign as an option, as sort of a last resort type of option. If for a speed bump to be put in, there has to be certain volume and speed criteria met. But so if the road does not meet this criteria, then a stop sign would become an option, and the criteria that's in front of you is sort of outlines what would justify putting in a stop sign for speeding. It would basically make most neighborhood roads, type roads, eligible based on some speed data that we would collect as part of our traffic calming policy speed study.
I see you got a speed limits of 25 miles per hour or less.
Correct. Yeah, right. We wouldn't necessarily want a road that's typical for, subdivisions. We wouldn't necessarily want a stop sign on a 30-mile-per-hour road as a traffic calming measure.
And speed bumps, AJ, if you determine speed bumps are the direction that we ought to go, is that something that town?
It's on the HOA. It's on the neighborhood. The town does not fund speed bumps.
What about areas where you don't have an HOA or you have an inactive HOA?
Right. That it's it comes down to the folks in the area really coming up with the funds for it. It is in our traffic calming policy that the town doesn't fund speed bumps.
So exactly what are we, is this just something that to be considered?
Yes, to be added to our traffic calming policy. Basically, what we have written up is criteria that would make a road eligible for speed humps, or there's other measures of traffic calming, but speed bumps is the main one. So basically, we would put something in our criteria that would make a road eligible for a stop sign, as opposed to just not having anything written up.
Let's put this criteria in practice.
As a matter of policy?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. I'm probably a little uncomfortable with it till I hadn't read it and I hadn't studied it. So until I do, would reserve any position.
I'm a little confused with the less than 500 vehicles per day. So if it's more than that, you're saying that a stop sign wouldn't be warranted?
Right. Yes, ma'am. We typically would want to only make neighborhood type roads eligible. And you wouldn't see over 500 vehicles per day on a neighborhood road. But we wouldn't want to, put a stop sign up on a very busy road. So that's where that 500 vehicles per day comes in.
This is them telling
Okay, does anyone else have any questions concerning this?
I don't have any questions. I would like to look over it, perhaps
get back with the committee next month after we've got a chance to look at it.
I agree. Okay, thanks.
Next item B is a mural on a pocket parking garage. As you may know, we've had an issue with vandalism or graffiti on the top of the parking garage over the past several years. And I've reached out to the Somerville High School art class or art teachers there last year before COVID hit, and reached out to them to see if they would be interested in painting a mural. They're still painting a mural on the top of the garage. They did. They were interested. Unfortunately, COVID came and everything shut down. So they're back in school. I reached out to them again, and they're still interested in doing this. What you see here is a representation of what they'd like to do, very Somerville themed mural on the roof. Just before we pursue it, I'd like to run it through the committee and see if there's any issues with it. I don't see anything different, but it would be colored different shades of pink and purple to match Azalea colors. It would be colored with a blue background.
I'm not clear exactly on where this would be.
On the roof of the parking garage, on the walls, on the roof where we have the graffiti
On the walls.
Yeah.
often.
We're
Okay.
thinking that's gonna stop the graffiti.
But we
or
would
they
coat it.
Just paint on top of it.
Yeah, we would think it would stop it. Typically, if you have something there's not a blank canvas to paint over. But we could also coat it with an anti-graffiti coating. So if it is there, it could just wash it off.
Are you talking about inside of the garage?
On the roof?
On the roof?
Yes, sir. Only on the roof.
On the exterior of the roof? Or the
Interior.
interior?
Inside the garage on the roof. Right. You wouldn't see it from the street. It'd
So
just
it's
be-
that wall as you
Yeah.
come up on, you have that one wall.
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so what's the plan for funding on this?
The town would buy the materials, paint, brushes, and provide it to the students. They would come one Saturday and do this.
If you're gonna do it, I like the design, but I've got an idea. It's gonna encourage more graffiti. They're gonna say, we can improve on this.
Hopefully you're wrong, Mr. Bailey.
Well, I've been wrong a lot of times before, so hopefully
But
again.
I've seen over other places that have done this, it kind of deters the graffiti artists and sends them somewhere else, but maybe I'm wrong.
No, we have cameras up there right now, don't we?
We do have cameras, and we've caught people, and they've gone before our court and they've sentenced them to painting over their art. So a lot of the art's been covered by kids that have been up there and done it, but some people aren't caught. And
So what's the, I guess, time? I mean, we catch them on camera. Does someone see that right away? And does our police department come or
they're
is it
arrested.
something you find out several days later?
Our cameras work pretty well. We can get tag numbers, so we tracked them down. Actually saw them doing it on camera,
Uh-huh.
and the police departments arrested them, sent them to court, and they sentenced them to working for me for a day.
Okay. All right. Okay.
All right, we'll proceed then. Last item is the siren activated gate on Bailey Drive. I think this came up last week as an item. The gate was installed around 2016 or 17. It's been up 4 or 5 years. It's been a maintenance nightmare since then. It's been vandalized. It doesn't function a lot of the times. It is working now, as far as I know. I was out there last week. It is working. But the code to the gate is kind of common knowledge to those neighborhoods. And so people are using the code to get in and out. The siren activation, as far as I know, is working. But I guess one side of the gate some people want the gate there. Some people don't want the gate. The town, when Carrington Chase was approved, was not supportive of the gate. Part of the Bailey Drive is a county road, and part of their condition to tie into the Bailey Drive was the county required the gate to be installed by the HOA, by the developer. and the town is now responsible for maintaining that gate.
I'm trying to figure out why the town's responsible for maintaining the gate that was required by the county.
Because it was done by, it was part of their condition. It was put in by the town developer developing the town portion of the subdivision.
And whose property is the actual gate on? Is it on?
It's in town right away. It's right on the line, but it's actually on the town side of the right of way.
Russ, I read that letter the day that you signed it. So the town, you signed that letter. But we maintain that gate, maintenance on it and
Microphone.
all that stuff.
Right.
When that gate was built. Is that why you signed that,
Yes, sir. That
wrote
was
in that letter?
That was a condition that
That was all.
the county was not going to allow that connection to be made if we didn't agree to
Yeah.
maintain the gate.
So what's the advantage of this gate? I
I
don't,
don't know. The town didn't want the gate.
so we can take down the gate if we want, correct?
The county wants the gate, and I can see the
Oh.
county probably putting up a permanent barrier there if we remove it or open the gate.
Well,
I thought that.
go ahead.
I thought it was part of a connectivity issue that the county was pushing. Which I would think connectivity would mean you don't have a gate, but I'm just I still am not clear how this thing started.
Yeah.
And can you run through it again? So
So Canyon Chase was approved probably back in 2007, right before the recession, and it sat for years and years. Nobody built anything. It was a state road back then, and the state actually signed a permit allowing the connection to Bailey Drive. When the developer pursued the subdivision, the state, at that point, the state permit had expired, and the Bailey Drive had become a county road somewhere between right before all this happened. So the county was responsible and had permit jurisdiction over Bailey Drive.
does Bailey Drive dead end at the gate?
It used to, yes.
Okay.
It does dead end, stop at the gate, and then the town road continues beyond the gate into a town subdivision.
Okay.
So part of the county's decision, of county's permission to connect it was to have the developer install the gate. The gate has been, like I said, a maintenance issue, has been left open, and the county is requested we repair it and get it functional again. I asked if, well, if we didn't repair it, well, we just left it open, then they would probably shut it permanently or put a permanent barricade there.
So we're getting ready to build a fire station that's going to protect Greenhurst. That we go through the gate to protect the neighborhood that's in Somerville.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yes, sir. And I would maybe recommend we revisit with Dorchester County to see
Okay,
if they
yeah.
would reconsider.
100% agree.
Any other questions?
We talked to Jason this morning, Jim and I did. It's only one councilman that's really objecting to,
Yes, sir.
is
I'm aware.
concerned about the gate. And he wants to leave it like it is.
Right.
Jason was gonna talk to him. The rest of county council doesn't really have a problem with, I guess, taking the gate down, he thinks. But I don't know whether he was gonna meet with them today and tomorrow, but real soon and get back with us on what council felt as a whole, or whether they'll vote on it or what. We kind of let him know that we would like to have the gate removed. Once we get that fire station built, we start going through that on a regular basis.
I think it's got to have 3 readings. I believe.
It was done, I think, by ordinance, I believe, the requirement.
Yeah.
Okay, is there anything else? Members? Okay, we have a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
Second? Who's our other? Who else is on our committee? Can I second?
You can say.
I can second. I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Adjourn.
Okay, we ready for finance?
Mr. Mayor, do you want to try to have the Planning and Development Committee meeting now that Mr. Jenkins is here? Do we now have a quorum? Can we go back to the Planning and Development Committee?
Yeah, sure,
Okay.
sure.
I think they only have one item.
The one item we have on the Planning and Development Committee agenda is the request to amend the future land use map with the comprehensive plan Somerville, Our Town, Our Future, currently designated as agricultural conservation to neighborhood mixed use for parcels 15200000014 and 15200000016, fronting Dorchester Road. Planning Commission held a public hearing and approved the resolution recommending the amendment at their meeting on September 20th, 2021.
Let me ask you a question. What's the size of these two pieces?
I don't know that off the top of my head. I'm sorry. I don't know the size of the properties off the top of my head. They're quite large, so
I think it's 278 acres.
that sounds right.
Yep, and I wasn't here for the last meeting where y'all discussed it, but I was watching. And I agree with the concerns that everybody had. I don't see this development as something that I would see desirable in that area. But there has, some things have come up and they may be able to make some changes. For me personally, I'd rather not act on this at all and see if Jesse and Lisa could negotiate with them to bring a park of 2 AstroTurf soccer fields, 2 pickleball courts, and a basketball court up to Dorchester Road. And they can build on the higher end of the wetlands in the back. And for me, myself, I'd like to see how that works out before we move forward with anything. If we can't get those agreements, I am more than good at turning the development down.
I'm not on the committee, but I agree with Bob that we should put this thing off. In addition to the problems that he's raised, there's also an issue as far as the amount of commercial property, which is, in my opinion, insufficient. And also we need to maximize protection for the wetlands area and the high ground that's surrounded by wetlands also.
And the county is buying up property along the river there that's close to adjacent. And it would be nice to work it out to help them get their trail up the river going to connect Bacon's Bridge Road and 17A.
I agree with all of the aforementioned.
Do I hear a motion?
I think would the motion be to postpone taking any action on this until our next committee meeting
And allowing Lisa and Jesse to
Yeah.
discuss. Okay.
to try to negotiate something that is suitable
Yep.
to the town? Okay.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
That's all I have.
Thank you, Jesse.
Now we're ready for finance. Yes, sir. Next page.
Okay, now we'll hear from the finance committee. Dan, Mr. Dan the man.
Good evening. I have the September budget summary here for your review. Get a few of the numbers here. As you can see on the first page, our September actuals for revenue, we came in at $662,089.42. That brings our year-to-date to $3,561,434.41. And expenditures for the month of September, we expended $2,552,290.36, bringing our year-to-date actual to $9,931,713.54. And on the next page, you can see a breakdown of those revenues. Property taxes, we received $177,942.92, bringing our year total to $711,318.06. Licenses, permits, and fees, we took in $217,536.16 in September, bringing our total for the year to $2,498,686.75. Court fines and fees, we took in for the month of September $24,008.02, bringing the total to $88,680.87. And state revenues, we received $213,556.24, bringing the year to date to $472,723.93. Next page, you'll see our miscellaneous revenues. Our total for the month of September was $29,046.08, bringing our year to date to $219,084.07. All right, on the next page, we can see our impact fees. For the month of September, we received $11,350.10 for residential impact fees, bringing the year-to-date total to $27,256.20. For commercial impact fees, did not have any activity for the month of September, so the total for the year remains $20,911.08. And then looking at hospitality tax on the next page, you'll see September revenue was $396,434.95, bringing our year-to-date to $1,324,347.50. And then lastly, stormwater, still haven't received any of our significant revenue. We should be receiving that towards the year end. As that gets closer, we should catch up there. So September actual was only $1,498.12, bringing the year to date just to $8,630.59. And you can see our expenditures out of the stormwater fund, $99,291.10 expended, bringing the year to date to $638,056.01. And then something also that's not on the thing here is that we did receive our first half of our American Rescue Plan money. We received that on September 7th, and that was $3,898,486.50 that we have in our general fund account. Anybody have any questions? Thank you very much.
Thanks, Dan.
Consideration of reallocating funds in the amount of $182,968.85 from previously uncommitted CDBG activities, public services, fire station 1 emergency vehicle and rehabilitation.
I move that we reallocate the funds as stated.
Second.
All right, we have a motion made and seconded. Any discussion? If not, all in favor, raise your right hand, saying aye.
Aye.
Ayes carry.
Request to present Lieutenant Cassandra Williams with her Glock 9mm service weapon upon retirement from the Somerville Police Department.
I'll make a motion, Mr. Mayor.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor, signify by raising your right hand, saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed likewise. Ayes carry.
Authorization to issue a purchase order to Johnson Controls in the amount of $54,524.71 for installation of the downtown camera system. Funds to come from local H-Tax. These funds were part of the reappropriated H-Tax funds that were approved at the September 7th, 2021 Finance Committee meeting.
I'll make the motion that we approve this.
I'll second.
Motion made and second. Any discussion?
I just think it's a great thing. We've already seen the success of our police officers, but their eyes can't be anywhere. So I just think it's a great move forward.
Any other discussion? All in favor, signify by raising your right hand, voting aye.
Aye.
Opposed likewise, ayes carried.
Authorization to issue a purchase order to Smith Turf and Irrigation in the amount of $31,659.37 for a Toro Sand Pro 5040 with attachments. Funds to come from local H-Tax. These funds were part of the reappropriated H-Tax funds that were approved at the September 7th, 2021 Finance Committee meeting. This is on state contract and the request is from the Parks and Recreation Department.
I make a motion that we approve this, Mr. Mayor.
Second. Motion made and second. Any discussion?
Just got a question. What's the Toro Sand Pro? Okay, thank you.
Any other discussion? Okay, all in favor of this, signify by
Aye.
raising your right hand, saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed likewise, ayes carried.
Authorization to issue a purchase order to Carolina Sport Surfaces in the amount of $36,500 for the repair and resurfacing of the tennis courts and the replacement of the fence at Azalea Park. Funds to come from budgeted Parks and Recreation funds. Carolina Sport Surfaces has been selected based on the cooperative purchasing contract through Sourcewell, and the request is from the Parks and Recreation Department.
I make a motion, we approve this.
I'll second.
Motion made and second. Any discussion? No discussion. All in favor, signify by raising right hand, voting aye.
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 How you doing, Bill? All opposed, say likewise. Say no. Motion carried.
Authorization to issue a purchase order to Polaris Sales Incorporated in the amount of $42,968.85 for the purchase of a Polaris Ranger Crew XP 1000 UTV. Funds to come from Community Development Block Grant Funds, and the request is from the Fire and Rescue Department.
I'll make a motion. We approve that.
I'll second that.
Okay, motion made and second. Any discussion? If not, all in favor, signify by raising your right hand, saying aye.
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 Opposed likewise. Motion carried.
Authorization to issue a purchase order in the amount of $769,400 to Safe Industries for the purchase of a KME custom pumper. Funds to come from lease purchase proceeds, and the request is from the Fire and Rescue Department.
Motion to approve this.
Second.
Okay, motion made and second. Any discussion? All in favor of this, signify by raising your right hand, voting aye.
Aye.
Opposed likewise.
Authorization to issue 2 purchase orders to Signorama for the custom order and installation of 175th anniversary banners for next year, 2022, in the amount of $4,754.22 for a custom order and $1,857 for installation to come from H-Tax funds.
Motion to approve the purchase of these banners.
Second.
Okay, motion made and second. Any discussion?
Yes,
Go ahead.
175th anniversary. Is this the anniversary of the town of Somerville?
Yep.
Okay.
Is council going to get to see the designs on these before the work starts?
I believe that's what the custom order is, that they're going to create a design for us, and we can certainly get you those proofs once they come in.
Once they come in? Is it?
Once
But-
the proofs are created.
Okay, okay.
Okay, so this total amount then is for them creating the proof,
Mhm.
us approving that, and then the order itself.
That's my understanding. Is that correct? Okay.
Is the, just to clarify, the 4,754.22 covers the design. Does it cover anything else or just the design work?
It's the design and the banners themselves.
Okay.
And in 25 years, can we change this to 200? And keep the banners?
We could, yeah. We
If
won't
can
be here to
Find some
see
place
it,
to
but
store them.
That's why I figured I needed to bring it up now.
Any more discussion? All in favor signify by raising your right hand, vote aye. All opposed likewise. Okay, Ms. Beth.
Authorization to issue a purchase order for SDH Engineering to conduct a drainage study of the Richardson Stream Azalea Park Drainage Basin in the amount of $63,440. Funds to come from budgeted stormwater funds.
I'll make that motion that we approve.
I'll second, but with a question that maybe Russell need to answer. We've had several drainage studies done for different parts of town. What I would like to know is, at least on this side of I-26, will this help us move forward with what I would call a town-wide drainage study that would give us a better feel for where to start and where to finish from a town perspective versus an area perspective?
Yeah, so we've been doing these flood studies based on the basin it's in, where the water is coming from and where it's going. This is the downtown area, Somerville, up near the Treasury and Home, all the way out to near Atlantic Street. All that water comes through downtown through Azalea Park. It's about 1,860 acres of area. The town itself is 19 square miles, so there's about 3 miles of that area. So it's one of the areas we've had problems in the past with flooding. So what this will do is it'll identify some solutions to mitigate that flooding, and it'll take several years and a lot of money to implement those improvements. But we got to identify what the solutions are before we can implement them.
And I agree with Terry. In the end, all we have is the Ashley River. No matter where it's coming from up here. And I see very little plans to do or take notice of that, because in the end, it's where it all goes, no matter how
You're right.
fast you get it there.
Yeah, everything in this basin goes to some Sawmill Branch Canal and downstream, but luckily we're about 50 feet higher than Ashley River where we are now. So
Not in my district.
you're in Oak Brook.
We can be,
This
we
is
can be,
downtown.
we can be 5 feet under the Ashley River.
Yeah, we don't need a study down there, Bob.
No, that's across the bridge.
Russ, let me ask you something on the study we did, on the other side of 78 where it drains into Wayne's property.
Right.
Did that cover from, how far did that go out?
So if you look at that basin, that was about a 90-acre basin. The west edge of that basin will be the east edge of this basin. So they'll touch each other. And part of this study is going to be looking at if we can take some water out of that area and send it to this area to help that. So it's a comprehensive concerted effort town-wide, but we do one basin at a time. And I have the same firm working on them. So he has all the models we can talk to each other and see what we can do to help other areas.
So we got that basin complete out there on the north side of 78.
Right.
And so this will touch that. And
that.
this will take us how far south?
This will take us all the way to Sawmill Branch Canal, where the large canal that dumps near Hagen. So
And then into the Ashley River.
Okay, how far like east and west?
it starts near Atlantic Street, out Central Avenue. That area is the kind of the western border,
Yeah,
and up near the pedestrian home, it's kind of the eastern, northern border.
yeah.
And kind of just circle that area, that 1,800 or so acres is what we're looking at. This area that, just look at the ditch that floods your bunker.
Yeah. Yeah, good. All right, anybody else got any discussion? All in favor signify by raising your hand, vote saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. And Russ, just one other question. Since we're using SDH and have, can we assume that as we look at other areas of town or other basins in town, whatever we're going to call them, that we would still go to this firm so that there's connectivity
Yes, sir.
in what we're doing?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
I would recommend
thanks.
that.
All those opposing that motion signify by saying no. I didn't get to do that. Okay,
Authorization to issue a purchase order to HDR for construction engineering inspection services for the Maple Street project in the amount of $1,152,686. Funds to come from Midtown TIF proceeds.
Make
Mr.
that
Mayor, I move.
motion, Mr. Mayor.
Second.
any discussion?
Yeah, can I ask Russ to explain what that encompasses? Try to make me feel better about $1 million for inspection services.
Yes, sir. We had a similar contract for the Bear Island Road project. This service is going to be basically our eyes and ears and our inspection over the contractor building the road. There'll be inspectors out there daily overseeing the contract, overseeing the work, overseeing the schedule, make sure it's done on time and according to our plans. But we don't have enough staff to cover a contract of this magnitude. So we typically, the practice is we hire an outside firm to oversee the construction of the work. And we meet with them daily, weekly as needed.
Was that put out for bids or sole source?
It was a RFQ put out, and yes, sir.
Russ, if you recall, how much did we spend for this type of work on Bear Island?
That project was about $500,000. It was about half the size. Typically, these costs about 10% of the construction cost.
Thank you.
Any other discussion? If not, all in favor signify by raising your right hand, vote aye.
Aye.
Opposed likewise. Ayes carry. There's no motion.
Mr. Mayor, I'd move that we go into executive session to receive legal advice on the proposed TIF district.
Second.
I would ask that our finance director also join us.
Huh?
Our finance director also join us in executive session.
Get a motion right now. All in favor signify saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed likewise. Ayes carry. What'd you say, Lisa? Yeah, yeah.
Okay.